rewatching a replay of one of these, and it looks like sometimes the live stream replays, which I don't even know how long they're going to be up there for, don't record right when I hit record. The recordings I post on Patreon do. So that's the good news. I may stop. I'm torn. I think I'll probably stop leaving these up on YouTube. Pretty much no one can find them unless they watch the live stream or on the Patreon and know that they exist. They're semi-hidden, but I may just completely take them down from YouTube. I already don't leave them up on Twitch. So it's kind of like a little, obstacle course to get there. Anyway, Libra, you don't care about that shit. Let's get to you. Let's get to your reading. It's a pretty big month for you. In case you weren't aware, also in July, there was the nodal shift, right? The North Node moved into Aries and the South Node moved into your sign, Libra. When we think about nodal when we think about nodal shifts, we can think about the energy coming from the previous node into a new one as like a complete transformation of the energy related to the conscious and the subconscious or unconscious that's going on. So the unconscious, so to speak, energy, the South Node is in Libra. So there's been a lot of interchange since July for you, Libra. That change continues. October is a lot of seeing that play out on the screen of reality, okay? So there's a lot of that changeover. Not only is it your birthday month, you may have already celebrated your birthday here in September, but as we go into October, there are more Libran birthdays. It's a time of change. It's a time of stepping into your power. There is a lot of positive transits and movements, and there are a lot of positive transits and movements in October. We'll be getting to those. It's eclipse season. The new moon is in your sign on October 14th. It is also a solar eclipse that day. There's a lot of like bringing in and coming to terms with who you are energy and allowing that to be as we approach the middle of the month. And then towards the second half of the month, we have a lot of Scorpio energy with Mercury, Mars, and then Pluto, a ruling planet of Scorpio, going direct as well. So there's a lot of like change on the horizon, right? It's not something you've been unfamiliar with, but you have to kind of combine the auspicious elements of October with your doing the thing. You can't just talk the talk. You have to walk the walk, right? That's kind of the gist of it for you, Libra. And when I say walk the walk, this is about your inner transformation, right? Becoming a person you truly want to be, not resisting that, not fighting that, not lamenting the fact that you are not that now, none of that, but really kind of recognizing that you're able to step into this version of yourself that you've been letting play out. Now, over the past few months, that playing out may not have been as apparent or visible to you or others in terms of what's happening. And it may have been confusing. It may have been chaotic. There could have been a lot of energy going around there. But this month, you're going to kind of see that corner being turned into a very positive aspect and situation for your life, right? This is not just relegated to one realm: finances, health, love. It's kind of a complete holistic picture. And that's how you should take it for the month of October. Also, the 20th of October, you have the sun, the Libran sun and Mercury conjoining, right? So that's like communication is definitely going to come to the forefront then, really being able to understand internally, but also express externally. I was going to say outernally, with yourself and with others, right? So that's a very positive time. And that should be that is right before Scorpio season comes in on the 23rd, where that change and kind of surrendering to versions of yourself and reality that you more align with becomes quite possible and somewhat inevitable. Setting clear goals, embracing calculated risks, not being completely reckless, but calculated risks, and prioritizing your self-care also come into focus in October, right? You got to take care of yourself if you want to maintain a vibe that feels good to you. This gets harder, I think, as we get older, or maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. It's probably just a state of mind. But it seems like, it behooves you to take care of yourself physically, emotionally, psychologically, spiritually. Like these are things, your self-care really is important, whether that's boundary issues with other people, whether that's dealing with internal feelings that, are threshold guardians, grief, fear, shame, guilt, all of those things. Really coming to terms with those and kind of seeing where they fit into your life and how do you kind of take care of yourself, whether it's going to sleep at the right time, whether it's, a physical exercise routine, whether it's paying attention to your diet and the things you consume, relationship to drugs, whatever it is, there is a focus. There's an opportunity for you to focus on your health, which shouldn't be neglected in October. Main thing I would say for October, just remember to stay optimistic and open to new experiences, and you'll be like having a great month. Like, I think as long as you're open to the changes that are taking place, this shouldn't be a very difficult month for you. There's a lot of good stuff flowing your way, a lot of energy. And then that full moon on the 28th in Taurus is, that's a lunar eclipse. It's like a culmination events too. So this is like when we would expect this process to kind of really be on full display. So if it feels also a little bit like emotionally heavy, it's just going to be, it's eclipse season. What can I tell you? This is what happens. It's not the end of the world. It's just what happens. All right, let's get to the cards. We will do a Celtic cross. Sorry. This will be the last reading for today. Tomorrow we will do Virgo, Leo, Cancer, and then we'll wrap up on the 30th with Gemini, Taurus, Aries. I missed a day because I had a cold. I still have the cold. It's just I can do stuff today. I was useless yesterday. It's like I've had the Fitbit for a long time. I actually really like Fitbit, especially like when I need to be using it when I'm like totally out of shape because it like shows me how lazy I'm being. But like I get kind of obsessive about it, and like I have to get the steps in. I have to do this. I have to get that in. And even when I was sick, I was like trudging around the house, like trying to get my steps in. I'm like, I don't know if this is healthy. This is not. I got the steps in, but I was like, I don't think this is like a healthy way of approaching this. But nevertheless, I did it. Got to get those steps in. All right, let's do this. This is a 10-card spread. Page O Cups. I've been saying the wrong suit like a lot of brain frog going on. You know what I mean? Page of Swords. This is great. This is that change we're talking about, right? One of the big things on the Page of Swords card, we can see the clouds are blowing in the wind. We can see that because of the trees there. They're blowing. Change is being ushered in. So again, this is a big month for you, Libra. This is internal change. It will be projected externally. I was going to say outwardly again. It will be projected externally, but it obviously starts from an inner place, right? So just remember that. Challenge, 4 cups, reversed. So being able to accept and see opportunities that are being presented to you is a big part of kind of navigating what excites you and what opportunities are potentially there. If you're so tunnel visioned on how something needs to be done, it can be very difficult to see other opportunities popping up around you. So just as you embark on kind of a new realm of self-identifying with yourself and how your relationship to reality and the external world works, just be open to, like I said, new opportunities. Open-mindedness will lead to more opportunities, right? You'll see the possibilities that are there and exist for you. Push these over. Past, the Emperor. Yeah, I'm sure things have probably felt pretty illogical over the past couple of months. Just maybe like things haven't been making sense completely. And this is kind of a deficiency in masculine energy. It's not a bad thing, but it's just kind of showing you like maybe where some of the issues were stemming from in terms of being able to use the logical and analytical mind to understand things that might not have been there. And that's totally cool. It's oftentimes we have to rely on our intuition. Sometimes we don't have either, right? Sometimes we're just kind of lost in the sauce and we're like, which way is up? I don't know. That's okay too. Queen of Cups. Yeah, in the future, and this feels like something that you'll probably experience before it's turned over in that Scorpio energy in the second half of the month. It is kind of like getting lost in the emotions a little bit, not being able to create things for yourself because the tug of emotions, it feels like it's pulling you. Again, emotions are just messengers. They're telling you things about the way you feel. They're not condemning you to a state, right? You get to choose as you move through this. Is this something I would like to be involved with? Is this something I enjoy? Yes or no. If no, how do I move on from it? If yes, how do I maintain it, right? Or sustain it or grow it? That ability might not be there as easily as you would like. Conscious mind, yeah, it feels like there's a little bit of fear here, right? A little bit of, maybe I can't unify these two versions or multiple versions of myself. Maybe I can't have reality reflect, my truest desires. Maybe this is just like a isolating game that I can't play with anyone else, and it's really just up to me to do it. And kind of like there's a loneliness or sadness involved there. But again, this is your conscious mind. Like, conscious mind's going to conscious mind. It's going to do what it's going to do. It's not the ultimate driver of the experience, but it's certainly worth noting. Pay attention to how you view love. How do you love? How are you allowant of people who love you or situations that invoke love? Look how that is going on in your life and maybe try to get some insight into why you might feel like that. Love that. Ten of Pentacles being the card of, legacy, really living a life that you're proud of, that means something, that adheres to your values, your goals, really seeing it as a just and fair life. This is your subconscious. So your subconscious is focusing on these broader themes. While your conscious mind may be caught up in maybe unlovely situations, we might say, your subconscious is hard at work, kind of working on these broader themes. And I've been bringing it up a lot lately, but the negative experiences, the ones that aren't so fun on the spectrum of fun to suffering, often provide contrast, right? Often provide this ability to really show you what you do prefer, what you do like, what you do resonate with, precisely by showing you an experience that you don't resonate with. And so these are themes related to legacy. It's very Saturnian in a lot of ways, but it's just, again, related to this broader theme of transformation and kind of death and rebirth, which is going to be taking place especially hard in the second half of the month. Okay, advice. The Chariot. This is the same card that came out for Scorpio. Right? Scorpio, the Chariot is a really cool card, right? It shows us a lot of stuff on it. We have the crescent moons at the top. We have the Scorpionic guy, not the Scorpionic, the moon guy at the top, holding the reins of the Chariot attached to these sphinxes representing dark and light. I pointed it out in the Scorpio reading. They're facing an not opposite, but like outward directions. They're not going the same way. So what it means is you have to have an awareness, or it helps to have an awareness of the different forces that are directing what your consciousness perceives as life and just your consciousness is, right? There's shadow, there's light. There is a wrong, there's a right. This is not necessarily as black and white as it seems, but there are polarities to situations. And only by being aware of both sides of that spectrum and everything in between, ideally, can you honestly know how to hold the reins to get where you're going. Do you lighten up on the darkness? Do you tighten up on the darkness? Do you lighten up on the light side stuff? Do you tighten up on that? Because there's going to be some balance. It doesn't necessarily need to be even and equal. I know Libra likes the even, but it's the scales. It's really weighing the one against the other that allows you to choose what it is direction you want to go in. So that's the advice, is balancing those energies. Externally, you shouldn't be freaking out about too much. We got the Nine of Swords reversed. You should be over kind of this obsessive, maybe compulsive desire to dwell on things that could go wrong and might not happen correctly in your life or in your reality. You're kind of overcoming that as a viewpoint, and you should be able to see that in your dreams, your fears, how you're reacting to things. So that's pretty wonderful. Hopes and fears. Watch out for burnout, I would say. Just be clear of that. Don't push so hard that you don't have anything left, right? Don't use all the gas up in the beginning. So just be aware that you probably will not burn out, but you do have to be aware of your self-care and your boundaries and what you're able to do. For instance, yesterday, I knew there was no way I was going to be able to do a live stream or two. Like, I was like, you know what? I'm going to just take this day to take care of myself. Yes, I still walk 10,000 steps, and that probably wasn't smart, but I pulled off the gas, even if I was like, I got to do this because it'll be easier if I do that. Just be aware of how to apply that in your situation, Libra. Where can you pull off the gas? Where can you honor your self-care over something you feel like you need to do? Maybe you don't need to do that right then. So just be aware of that. And I think you are, because it's in your mind. Outcome? Oh, I can't beat that. 10 of Cups. Harmony, house on the hill. This is where like the opportunity lies for you, Libra, with October. If you're capable, and it's very most likely you will be kind of forced into this situation, even if you feel like you're not capable, of transforming, letting go of things, allowing things to happen, being open-minded, you end up in a very harmonious situation. It's not something you have to kind of fight or work super hard for, but you do have to take the steps. But like, this is a process of change that you've been going through for several months. And this is kind of the month to see the results of that change take place internally, then externally, right? All in all, pretty solid month. Can't complain, I don't think. Let's do some Threads of Fate. Then we'll do some Animal Oracle. These have been ended up around like 20 to 30 minutes. Just to let you know, different format, different way of doing things. Wildling again. Cool stuff. Gotta be a little... what did I say? What's the word I was looking for? Calculated risks. That's right. Calculated risks. You can be the wildling quite often this month. You can kind of be... Just don't be reckless, but you can kind of let yourself go and try some things out. Be open-minded, right? Fate. Sometimes just your success is predestined. You just have to accept that and not fight against it to allow things to happen. You can really think of life as realities kind of like stitching through frames to experience that. And then boundaries. Yeah, this one kept coming up when I was doing your thing before. Yeah, you have to clearly not only be aware of your boundaries, but like honor them. Right? If you need time and space for yourself, if you need someone not to, be in your business, you got to honor that and you got to express that as clearly as possible. If you say yes to everything, if you're people pleasing, that really can stifle and drain energy. It can take things away from your ability to kind of like protect your energy and allow it to like build up and like multiply into like some awesome thing, because you're constantly like leaking it out because you're trying to make everyone happy, which is like, it's fine, but that's not really, it's never been a path to success. Like, people pleasing just that leaves you feeling drained after a certain point. Beaver spirit, lay a solid foundation. Of course. It's the number 6 card, by the way, in the Animal Oracle. What else is there to say? You kind of know what that means. Establish something you're going to be able to rely on going forward. You don't have to kind of know exactly what that is, but you do have to build something that will stand the test of time internally for you, as long as you want to be that version of yourself. Cat spirit, claim your independence. And this is what, Libra, it's the 13 card, one of my favorite numbers. Love the angel wings on that cat. Cool stuff. This is what the transformation has been about for you, Libra. Since July, there is an emphasis on being completely independent. Independent doesn't mean alone. It means that you have more accountability and ultimate accountability and responsibility for what you experience. It's your ability to, you don't say any external situation, any external force, energy, whatever controls you. It's your internal ability to kind of summon forth reality that is at the heart of this. So you coming to terms with that, you realizing that is a huge part of it. So just, recognize that you got that going on. It's a good month, October. Frog spirit, clear out the clutter. Also very good thing. Just 28 card, by the way. Very good thing to do. I found myself doing this recently, and the relationship between physical clutter, emotional clutter, spiritual clutter, psychological clutter is apparent. So if you do have physical mess in your space, not that a ton of Librans do actually, but if you do, see the relationship between cleaning up your physical space and what goes on in your head. It can be pretty profound if you let it. But also just be aware this is a purge month. Scorpio months, especially towards the second half, purge month. So there's a lot of surrendering. There's a lot of letting go of things. There's a lot of acceptance and understanding and accepting yourself for who you are. If there's been a lot of change over the past, July is after July is September? No, August. Jesus Christ. July, August, September. 3 months of probably like turning over versions of yourself, change, kind of being drawn up and out of you. This is the purge month. This is the time where you take the ayahuasca and you're throwing it up before you actually start tripping. That's this phase. So just clear that out. Let it be a cathartic period for yourself. And Libra, you're gonna have a good one. It's profound. There's a lot of not heavy but intense energy that you're gonna be able to kind of ride the waves into a very positive experience. So I think you'll enjoy that. That's it. I will be back tomorrow, like I said, with Virgo, Leo, Cancer. We'll get those started kind of mid-morning and probably end up right around here at like 5.